Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Squid QE podcast with guest. We are going to be doing some co-op today, showing off the Dimension of the Machine maps that were made by Machine Games or something like that. I forget who made these maps, but we will be doing a co-op there, and I'm joined today by Bacteria from the QuakeQE.com Discord. Bacteria, how are you doing today? Definitely. So, how did you get into playing Quake? Nice. Yeah, I really like Arcane Dimensions. I think I talked about this in one of my last podcasts, but yeah, that is a very good mod. If you're into Quake modding, I highly recommend checking out Arcane Dimensions. It's a very big map pack. It's like, geez, how many levels are in that? Is it like, it's got to be like probably like over 30 or something like that, but yeah, it's really nice. Oh, really? X and 2 and everything? Oh, sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, Hex and 2, that's another Quake engine, Quake 1 engine game there. I've been meaning to try and get into that, but I did start it a little bit, but I don't know, I guess I just kind of stopped a little ways into it. I kind of came from like the first Hexen that was a little more Doom themed rather than Quake themed there, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get back into Hexen 2 and see what that's all about. Sure, yeah. So how did you? Because you're a moderator on the QuakeQE.com Discord, right? So how did you end up? Like, how did you end up meeting Dan and getting on that Discord and becoming a moderator and stuff?
Because he was hosting the server, and 2, I noticed that he had like an 18-player max on the server, and I was like, wait a minute, because like vanilla QE, I think you can only host like what, 8? So I saw that.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, you're right.
I saw that and just became like super curious. Was like, how did he do that? You know? So I just went right to the source and. Yeah, we just started chatting up from there, and I think like a week later he was like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna open up a Discord and have a little community, you know, for this client. And I was like, yeah, let me know and I'll join up.
All right, I'm gonna stop you there for a second. So I was just told that apparently nobody could hear you for like the first 5 minutes here.
Oh, really?
Guys, I'm not a pro. I'm not a pro podcaster. I'm sorry, man.
That's cool.
Just to briefly, this is Bacteria from the QuakeQE.com Discord. He's a moderator, and we're here to talk about Quake, pretty much.
Yeah, shout out.
Oh
shout out to all the homies, like I said before.
Gosh, what is wrong with me, man?
It happens, dude. I mean,
alright.
Dude, when I started streaming, like, I actually went through the same shit where, like, people like had to tell me how to stream basically. I was a big dummy, but
no, I gotcha. So you were saying that you found Dan because you mentioned he was doing like the 16-player server stuff like that.
Yeah, basically the modded servers, because you know, like I'm not, a technological expert, so it's like I assumed you couldn't really mod QE or it was very limited. So when I saw that, I became like very interested in seeing what that was all about, and he made the Discord, he invited me to it, and yeah.
Gotcha.
As far as being a moderator, that just kind of came from like hosting that first tournament, and yeah, Dan was just like, "Hey, would you like to be a moderator?" I was like, "Sure, dude."
Nice, yeah. So do you do any like because I've been in your guys' Discord for like a long time now, but honestly, I don't really know what everybody really does there. Do you do any like modding or programming of your own or anything like that?
No, honestly, man, I'm just a fan. Like, see, I don't actually know anything about modding or coding or anything like that. So when I see this stuff that people make, like maps and multiplayer mods and things like this, it blows my mind, because I couldn't even begin to fathom how to begin that process of doing it. So yeah, I'm just a fan.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't do any coding or modding or anything like that. I did attempt to do I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I did attempt to do Python coding at some point, but I didn't get very far on it there. It's definitely to me it's definitely a chore. But there's people that like doing that, and that's totally fine there. And I appreciate everybody that does programming in some way and stuff like that. So kudos to everybody who's got the skills and patience for all that kind of stuff, and very appreciate what you do.
Yeah, it seems like they have like an obsessive drive to just, like stay focused and get the job done. Because I've watched like CK stream his like his little coding sessions, and it's just, yeah, they just like seem so focused and whatnot. It's impressive, because I know I personally probably can't do that unless I like really put in the effort,
Yeah, he is definitely a talented individual. They all are, actually, to be honest. I know Spike's pretty big with his programming. I think he created the FT Quake World, right?
Yeah, that's my go-to client now. Like, that thing rocks, dude.
Yeah, that can run Quake 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah, dude. The amount of features on that thing is just bonkers. I think like that's what kind of also hurts it, because it's so much easier to install and Quake and get that thing running good. With FTEQW, it does take like it's not hard work at all, but there's a little bit of effort into setting it up for sure. But that kind of goes for any Quake client.
Oh yeah, I still use Easy Quake. I've heard that Uneasy Quake is pretty good too. It's basically just a fork of Easy Quake with some extra features there. I think Dusty makes that one. I haven't tried that one specifically. I did try FTE Quake World, but I can't remember why exactly I didn't stick with it. I think it's just because I was so adjusted to Easy Quake, I just didn't bother. But in comparison to what I've heard people who do program, they definitely say that FTE Quake World is far superior than Easy Quake in terms of like coding and stuff like that. So definitely a lot of kudos for what he's done with that. And I don't know if he even gets paid to do it, but either way, he's done very good work with it. So yeah, shout out to Spike there. He's definitely a good person. What he does. Yeah.
Yep.
So you've organized is it all the tournaments you've organized for the QE, or is it just some of them?
Not all of them. Probably like the first 2 years, me and Dan did all of them. And then well, you got squished. That's crazy. The latter part of last year, I think Steph took over, if I'm remembering correctly. My last tournament that I did was the Dual League, basically.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And yeah, they're fun. That's always fun to do, and whenever I get the free time to do it, obviously.
Yeah. Did you also organize that first one we did?
Yeah, that was me and Dan's first ever event, and that was a crazy one. That was where I first, dude. When we played each other, that was the very first time I met you.
Yeah, no, that was. Yeah,
that was my introduction. So, like just little things like that. That's like I'll always remember that. That's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, I mean I stomped you, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean you did. The mustard factory. I was just like, I can't do this one.
That's my main map, man. That was your mistake playing me on that map.
Yeah.
No, but everybody did good on that map. Even the ones that that came in last or we got on the loser board or whatever. They all did good there. They're all great players in their own way. Sometimes it's just not about winning. Sometimes it's just about playing and having fun with friends and stuff. And that's kind of what you guys do there. And that's why I like being a part of the community and being part of the events there. Even though like personally I can get a little competitive and stuff, but
I mean it's a competitive game, that's
right, exactly. I try not to show it, of course, but I can get a competitive edge in me there, and I don't like that about me. I really don't, because I can get a little sour, but I've worked on it throughout the years. I've definitely gotten a lot better with
if you haven't gotten salty playing Quake yet, you haven't played Quake, like you're gonna at one point you're gonna get frustrated, or it just happens. It's a competitive game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just any competitive game, really.
Yeah.
You get salty players, and I have a video on my channel about a toxic player. Go check that out if you want some entertainment there. But yeah.
But whenever I host a tournament or something, like that's the focus. It's just like I want people to walk away feeling like that was fun. I would do that again. That was worth my time. You know what I mean? Instead of like whether you win or lose.
Right.
Instead of like feeling like shit and feeling like, oh man, like I feel worse about myself because I got my butt whooped against a really good player or something like that.
Yeah, and to these are cash awarding tournaments, right?
Yeah. We generally keep the prizes like modest, like we don't want to host like a. I feel like if you, it's like a dangerous territory hosting like a big money tournament, and also having like entry fees to the tournaments. Like I'd rather just pay for the prize pool and just have everyone chill and like. I kind of just want it to feel like a little party, basically, like a little social event, but it's also competitive at the same time,
Yeah, I mean, the prizes don't have to be anything like what you would see in like esports or something like that there.
Exactly, yeah.
Some of those are like, I think I've seen like cash prizes like, 10K, 20K over there or something like that for, like the big games and stuff, but yeah.
Because I feel like that changes your mentality when you approach it. It's like, I really want to win that $1,000 really bad, so you're going to take it like very serious at that point,
Right, exactly.
Whereas if I just throw like, okay, the winner gets $50 or $100 or something, it's just like, okay, yeah, whatever, if I don't win, it's not the end of the world, that $100 isn't going to pay my rent or nothing,
Right, yeah, so that's what makes it more like you're feeling like you're playing with friends rather than doing anything like serious.
Right on, that's it right there.
Definitely. Now, the cash and I'm sorry if this gets a little too personal now, does that come out of your pocket, or is there like a donor pool that people can donate to or something?
I always offer, like, if you want to donate, you could, like, get in touch with Dan and work it out with him, but, me and Dan just kind of always just took on the responsibility for it, not to like flex or anything like that. We just wanted it to be completely chill and like and we like to see these events go down because it's fun for us, like not even just as much as playing them, but it's cool to like watch you guys like going out there and beat the shit out of each other, for 10 minutes or whatever,
But you joined us, right?
Yeah.
You joined us, right?
Yeah.
That didn't sound very confident.
I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like, because before the whole QE thing, My only way access to like Quake 1 multiplayer was watching it like on Twitch on Sudden Death TV and
Right.
the stuff Jahar would host. Like that was my only connection to it because I couldn't really find the players to play with. So QE was kind of like that opportunity for me, like, oh wow, like people are playing this and like I'm getting along with them. So like this is like the ultimate opportunity here to like actually get my Quake 1 multiplayer experience. Now we're going on what, almost 3 years, or it is 3 years now, and people are still playing it, although it it's evolved. And so like the whole CRX thing, of course, which I think it's like an evolution to what we started with, which was just playfab. We had to deal with server crashes. Do you remember the first tournament, how many like server crashes there were?
Yeah, that was definitely playfab.
Yeah, it was wild, man. And that just made it like so much. It was just so much work to handle all that. Now we have a dedicated server that just like it's just smooth. And you have all these different server settings that you can mess with, and yeah, dude, it's a really good time right now to be a Quake player. Whether you're into Quake World or if you want to hang out with us on CRX, or I mean shit, dude, people still play NetQuake for crying out loud. I mean, it's mainly like CTF now, I think, but there's
I think Coco from NetQuake, he tries to get matches going and stuff, but yeah, it's mainly CTF over in NetQuake these days. There's also the netquake.io. I think I talked a little bit about that last podcast, but a lot of times what you see in that are more like very like school students who kind of just play Quake just to pass the time or something like that. They're not very good, but
it's kind of crazy.
I mean, there's a few
people,
good players there, but
yeah, it's just crazy that they're that young and they're playing this old game from like '96.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, these are just like, I don't know if they're college students or if they're high school students or something, but I know a lot of them are very young that play, and it's really cool that there's such a young community that's keeping it going, even if it's mostly them just I'm just playing it because I got class in a half hour or something like that. But still, it's really cool that there's even a community that's out there and wanting to keep the game alive and stuff. So I definitely appreciate that. I think it's Ephes that runs netquake.io, I believe.
Yeah, Ephes.
Yeah, he's done some good work on that. I think I talked to him a little bit too about because I was curious if he used either WebAssembly or if he just wrote it in like HTML or something. I think he said JavaScript. He wrote that in there, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I know like WebAssembly has like its limitations and stuff. Because I know like I think it's a single core language. I could be wrong. I'm not a programmer, so correct me if I'm wrong there. Who's ever listening to this who is a programmer, but. I've kind of looked into that kind of stuff there, so I think JavaScript was a good choice, even if not a lot of people like JavaScript or whatever. But I think that was a good choice that he did coding it with that one. But like I said before, very good job. Kudos to him too. He's also another. I assume he's a pretty big programmer. I think. I don't know much about him. Spoiler alert, I reached out to him to try and do a podcast, so we'll see if
that would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few programmers in the waiting list for that. There, I'm not gonna try to say too many names because I don't want to make promises, but that's something to look forward to. If you want to subscribe to my channel and listen out, do a little self promotion there.
Programming stuff's always fun to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. So do you do like Twitch streaming or anything like that?
Yeah, I do stream on Twitch. Admittedly, it's like down to like once a week now, just because very busy with my family and stuff. But I pretty much mainly stream Quake still. The TDM sessions we do late at night. That's like, yeah. I mean, that's kind of that's another result of just playing QE. Was I figured like, oh, it'd be cool to like broadcast this game and try to help promote it in some sort of way. And yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of the idea I'm doing with this podcast too. Just promote QE and what it's offered and stuff. Developers have done a very good job there. And to comment what we're playing here, this is obviously Dimension of the Machine. It's a campaign that's only in QE, I believe. I don't think you can download it for other clients. Not that I'm aware of, at least. I'm not really sure who made this. But very good job. It might have been Night Dive that made it too. I'm not really sure, but kudos to the developers. I wish I could say the same about some of the deathmatch maps, to be honest. I feel like a lot of them are kind of not very good, except for Mustard Factory, which I think is probably a very good map.
I think Art of the Condemned, that one's pretty cool.
I don't remember what that one is. I know I've played it before, but every time somebody says that name, I can't envision like what that is, and that's just. But I know I've probably played that before, probably dozens of times. But so that was a DOTM map. Yep.
Nice. I think I can remember all of them. The boiler, which like everyone seems to hate.
Don't. We don't mention the boiler on my channel.
Bad Space. I remember that one.
Yeah, Bad Space. That's the one with the like you're on these It's almost kind of Ricochet inspired, right? Bad Space.
It looks like it. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, because you're like on these platforms and there's a bunch of like teleporters on the bottom. It's not a bad concept. I mean, it is like if I were to compare it to anything, yeah, it's very Ricochet inspired. However, overall, like, I mean, I do see some players play that map there, but yeah, it's definitely in one of my least favorite. It's not a terrible map, not like the boiler, but it's definitely it's okay. I mean, that's really the only thing I can say about it. It's okay.
Yeah.
But still pretty cool that they gave it a shot, and even if it was just to keep the game alive or something. So that's pretty good. It's very good. Yeah, and I do like the kind of like the designs they went with this, because I don't know, did they handmade these designs, or were these in like other Quake mods or something like that?
I'm not even sure. Some of this stuff looks brand new. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever either, especially like like this whole area right here. It looks very unique. I mean, some of this here I think I've seen in like the copper mod, but other parts look pretty new to me. So yeah, kudos to whoever designed these. There must have took a lot of work there, or whatever. But it does show you like what the Quake 1 engine is capable of doing, right? Because like if you were to ask somebody from like 1997, I don't think they would have said this would have been doable, because like hardware restrictions at the time. But with modern tech now, we're able to do some pretty cool stuff out there. So they're able to just pop up even on this old game there and make something really cool there. It's kind of like the same thing happens with Doom. Like the very first Doom game. People still make really cool stuff with that with the old engine there. I mean, a lot of it I think is made on GZ Doom now, which obviously has its own modifications, but it's really cool that they're showcasing stuff that's could have been if it was at the time, but it's still cool that we're getting it today and stuff. I know Brutal Doom is pretty big in the first Doom game. Have you played that mod?
Yeah, it's amazing. And then Project Brutality, that's another cool one.
Yeah, definitely. I think I saw somewhere that somebody was making like a brutal Quake or something like that, or like kind of like the idea of it, in Quake, which I thought looked pretty cool. It's basically like if you've ever played Brutal Doom, it's basically that, but in Quake. A lot of gibs and stuff like that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I don't know if it's completed yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. Now, see, this area right here, this looks like Quake 2. Like
Yeah, it does,
Quake
yeah.
2. Yeah, which probably, maybe they just ported it over here for the Dimension of the Machine, but yeah, that definitely looks a lot like Quake 2. These areas. So what's your favorite monster in Quake?
My favorite monster is the ogre, hands down. It just like it's an ogre holding a chainsaw shooting grenades out of its chest. Like that's such a wild concept to me.
Everybody I talk to seems to say the ogre. It's I guess it's a very popular choice there. I'm still sticking with the Shambler.
Shambler is cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You can't really go wrong. I mean, spores are pretty trash. I think everybody hates spores.
That's the one that shoots the projectile, right? The one that follows you around corners.
No, the little blob things.
Oh, I thought those were called spawns.
Spawns, my bad.
Yeah, spawns.
But yeah, those things can go fuck themselves. I hate them.
I wonder who actually designed that one. Was it Romero that designed that, or was it like someone else?
I don't know. But basically, Sandy Peterson had the job of like, okay, you have to put this many of that monster into your episode. So he was the guy tasked with having a bunch of spawns on his map.
Okay. To be honest, I'm not really sure who that is, but good job. You made an enemy everybody hates.
Yeah. I actually like the Vors because they're cool looking.
Mm-hmm. And the ones that leap, those are fiends, right?
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah.
I pretty much, everything about Quake is like, it's got everything. You got really cool monsters. You got a really cool aesthetic. Now, like, the difficulty and everything of the AI, like, I understand, like, that's where a lot of the criticism is at, is, the monsters are kind of dumb and just spam attacks at you. But, I don't know, like, I don't exactly play single player, like, looking for a challenge, I'm kind of just looking for good level design, more or less.
I think a lot of games at that time didn't really have... like, it was all just the basic AI, just, making
right.
that shoots at you and, kill it. And with the only difficulty really being that it has more health, as you increase the difficulty or something like that. That was kind of just the theme at the time there. And today it still kind of is, because there's still a lot of games that just follow that same old rinse and repeat design of just, make an enemy, and the only real difference is to give it more health as you increase the difficulty or something like that, or maybe add a few enemies, like sooner into the game, like later enemies sooner into the game or something like that. But I really hope, like with all the new AI tech they have out now, that somebody will actually make an AI that kind of behaves similar to like you playing like an actual player or something like that. Because there's been a lot of good AI tech out lately. I don't know if you've checked out some of the things, like even like the NVIDIA like AI voice, where it's like replicating actors' voices and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty nuts, yeah. And like for coders, it's gonna like change the game forever, because a lot of this coding stuff that would take people like hours upon hours to do and finish, like they could just get an AI program to do it now. It's gonna be crazy in the next 5 to 10 years, like what people are gonna be able to do.
Have you checked out what is it, Chat GPT or whatever?
GPT, yeah.
GPT, yeah.
It's not perfect. I mean, I had a pretty bad experience with it personally, but because it just wouldn't answer like any of my questions, and I just feel like well, what the hell's the point of you then, you know?
It was revolting against you.
It was, and I didn't appreciate that. I feel like the AI's job is to carry out the answer, you know? It's not supposed to, like, judge the question, you know?
What was it? Was it judging you?
It was totally judging me, dude.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no,
I mean...
I haven't checked it out or anything, but I've heard it's pretty good. I mean, I've seen some people ask it questions and they come up with some pretty good answers or something like that. But I guess everybody.
Where it's going to be the most effective is like kind of what I just brought up with the coding stuff. Is like kind of cleaning up that workload that would generally take, you know, a human person, you know, a lot of tedious work to do. Why not just have this AI thing do it for you, you know? And that way you can kind of just focus purely on the creative process instead of like the statistics of it all or whatever, you know?
Yeah, but it seems kind of lazy though, doesn't it?
It does. It totally does. That's where it gets weird, man, because like I'm into music too, and like it's also going to be very involved in that. Like there's already people making AI generated like beats or whatever, you know? And I'm kind of against that as a person who enjoys like live instruments and like watching someone perfect their craft through like hard work and whatnot. But yeah, you're right, dude, and it's already showing like flaws. Like you got like school students like getting caught, you know, cheating on their projects because they're just having their chat GPT do their homework for them, you know. And
well, to be fair, I think people were cheating before that.
Oh, dude, I mean, I did, but
yeah,
I'm not gonna bring it up in the podcast.
If you're gonna be a person who says you've never cheated in school, you're lying.
Yeah, you're lying. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I think Chat GPT, if I can pronounce it correctly. Yeah, I think that'll probably... It's definitely the most well-known one. Probably will be around for a very long time. But I am curious to see how they'll evolve it because, you know, doing tasks like that, if they're able to evolve it to actually have a personality of its own or something like that. But we're probably years away before anything like that happens, I think.
I hope so. Like, I don't want to see people with like AI girlfriends and stuff because that just seems weird, you know.
Program a whole girlfriend for you, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even gotta leave the house at that point. It's just like I got my AI girlfriend that won't judge me. But
no,
once that AI develops its own mind, it's totally gonna judge you, like it did to me.
Yeah. Yeah, then you can be rejected by AI instead of just humans.
And that's like even worse, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we're talking about Quake here, and we are playing this co-op here, and I have to say I'm not really sure what we're supposed to be doing at this moment in this game. I found this ruin in here. I assume we gotta open this. But I'm not really sure how. So what's your favorite weapon in Quake?
Oh, dude, the RL rocket launcher all the way. It's so unique to the whole series because it does so much damage and it's so effective. Like, for example, in Quake Live, you know, the rocket launcher is strictly like a situational tool of like mid-range fights. And like you're not getting that big damage like you would in this game. Like you can die from one direct rocket if you're not stacked in this game, and I think that's amazing. And that's how you get like those really high frag counts in Duel and whatnot.
Yeah, it's definitely I would say it's definitely an OP weapon, I think. Of course,
for sure, yeah.
LG is pretty OP too, but
LG is bonkers in this game, yeah.
Yeah, but it does have a downside because it chews up ammo really fast and stuff. So
and you could electrocute yourself in the water.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, I'm gonna keep asking that question to everybody, but I'm curious to see who's gonna be the first person to say it's the nail gun. because I
don't think anybody, unless like it's somebody who's like only thinking about GG mod or something like that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Because GG mod does make it kind of a pretty good weapon to use. Because it basically makes it a chain gun, right?
Pretty much, yeah. That's like, I don't know, I guess that's another unique thing about Quake 1 is like vanilla style online, the rocket launcher, the LG, and the grenade launcher are like your most efficient tools. And then like the boomstick is more situational for just chip damage or like, finishing an opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So like you don't have like as many tools compared to like Quake 3. But like you have an OP rocket launcher, you have an OP LG, so like it kind of like balances itself out. It's a weird game.
Steph says super nail gun, best gun in single player. Yeah, I would agree with that because you think like the Shamblers, like the Shamblers take reduction to explosives, so you got to use something else. So like in that case, like obviously the super nail gun would be very good. And it's so weird because like if you're coming from the single player side, you're gonna develop those type of skills where it's like, oh well, this gun is actually very good, so when I play multiplayer, I'll remember to use this gun. But then you get into multiplayer and you realize, like, the weapons that are actually, pretty good in single player they just suck in multiplayer because everything is so much more faster paced and people know how to like dodge and move around very fast. That makes aiming with it very hard and stuff. So. But yeah, I would definitely agree. There's definitely a balance difference when it comes to multiplayer versus single player, even though it's the same weapons that you're using. But there is a balance difference because everything is so much slower in the single player. So weapons like the weapons like the nail gun and the super nail gun are very good in single player, whereas they just suck in multiplayer, plain and simple. But yeah, I definitely my favorite is still the lightning gun because I think it has multiple uses.
Yeah, so I mean that game or that weapon, you could just slay everything, And if you have quad and you have like 100 cells of LG, it's a wrap. You're the king in the room at that moment.
And when you're not killing somebody, you can power something with it because it's just electricity.
Yeah.
There you go. See, there's the idea if you had it in real life or something. Ah, stupid Oregon. Yeah, Oregon, the top, like upper levels and stuff, that's a very killer. That's very mean. Because like I don't like if you played a single player, you'll know that orgs don't really shoot upwards. They kind of shoot like forward, So like to compensate for that, they would strategically place orgs on higher levels so that way when they're shooting grenades at you, there's a better chance of it actually hitting you and stuff. But that's. I don't know. It's kind of cheesy in a way, because it's like why not just make them shoot upwards or something like that, or give them a rocket launcher instead. Like maybe they do a lot better. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know on that, but like you said, the orgs they're a good unit. So yeah. So you mentioned that you do Quake stuff on your stream. Do you do like do you do anything else on your stream, like other games or anything?
Other games, yeah, like Diablo, like action RPG kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Fighting games. That's like me and Dan's side bond with each other's. We like to nerd out about the fighting games. And yeah, and blast death metal, pretty much. Like I'm really into like promoting like weird shit that I know like not a lot of people like. You know what I mean? And Quake 1, like even though it's a legacy game and like everybody knows it's an important game to the FPS genre, but you just don't see a ton of people on it today, which is a shame. But as long as I'm still playing games, I'll always promote Quake 1 and chill with the community, you know.
Yeah, I hear you talk a lot about what is it, Street Fighter?
Dude, yeah, like I'm thinking about it right now. Like after the podcast, I'm gonna play. You know, I'm addicted right now. You know, because it's a brand new game and it's killer, man.
He's like, this motherfucker's making me play Quake here, and I want to go play
This
Street
is
Fighter.
cool, dude. This is cool. I'm always down to talk to people and you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Street Fighter, that's made on the same engine, I think, Resident Evil. Well, the new Street Fighter is made on the same engine that Resident Evil Village is made on, right?
Yeah, and the new Resident Evil games obviously are amazing, you know.
Yeah.
So it like kind of goes full circle for me. I get to play on the Resident Evil engine, and it's a Street Fighter.
Yeah, definitely. So I see the gold key we need to get. I'm not really sure how to get at it.
Same here.
Chad, if you have any ideas on how we get this darn gold key, because I'm not really sure how, feel free to tell us. Otherwise, we'll just keep talking and run around in circles. That's pretty much what I've been doing for the past... oh, I see. Okay, never mind. I see what we need to do. There's a room here with some, like, things going up and down we have to jump across. It's under the slime. It's not under the slime stuff. Don't tell me it's under the slime. Okay. Alright. Got this. I'm gonna make this. I hope. Oh, one is faster than the other. Okay. Okay, I got it. We're good.
Nice. I got a question for the squid.
What's up?
Why, like, why is FFA your jam?
Why is FFA my jam? I don't know. It's, because I feel like it's the most action-packed, you know? Because I have to focus on killing everybody rather than worrying about what the fuck my teammate is doing. Which is probably doing something stupid and pissing me off, you know?
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding. It's not that bad, but yeah, I guess I don't know, like, because when I started QE, I only ever played FFA. I've never really played team deathmatch and stuff, so I guess I just developed the skill required to play FFA rather than team deathmatch, because obviously if you played both, team deathmatch kind of has its own skill set behind it, because you have a teammate you have to, you know, make sure that he's not getting killed over and over again, and it's more focused on item control too. I mean, FFA is kind of too, but team deathmatch is more precisely about item control and stuff, so, you know, being able to get to the quad first and preventing the other team to do it. Because obviously if the other team is going to get quad, you know, they're probably going to stomp you, so, you know, you have to hide or kill them from a distance or something like that. But yeah, it's just FFA, in my opinion, is more action-packed, and it's something I can just move around freely and not feel like I have to hold myself back. But you do remember that I have played in 2 team deathmatch tournaments, so I have done team deathmatch.
No, for sure. I just always like to, like, it's interesting to me, like, especially with our community, there's like, there's the TDM dudes, and like that's what they mostly play, and then you have like the FFA guys where like that's like what all they play is FFA. It's like I always want to like pick people's brains and see, like, you know, what gets them into that mode, you know, because like I hated TDM for actually like a while. It took me a long time to appreciate it. For the reasons you stated. It's just like there was just certain fundamentals I just like couldn't get down, and like it would just frustrate me to not be as strong as like I would have been like more so like in duel or deathmatch or something like that. But like once I figured out team deathmatch, it was like, okay, like I get it. It's, you know, it's coordination, and like you said, you have teammates, so especially when you have like a 4 versus 4, you have 3 other dudes that you have to be coordinated with each other, and the communication has to be good, and when it's not, it's probably the worst feeling ever when you're like down minus 50, and you can't even pick up a weapon because it's deathmatch 1 rolls. And it's a terrible feeling to just get stomped on really bad like that. But the matches where you're doing really well, especially when both teams are coordinated and playing really well, and the teams are nice and balanced, you get this nice back and forth dance of map control and stuff, and it's that's what gets my adrenaline up, I guess.
Yeah, because the normal for team deathmatch, I think, is you play with weapon stay on when it's 2s, and then it goes weapon stay off when it's 3s and 4s. I think that's normally how you guys play it, right?
Yeah, and actually, that's a good point, because 2v2 is what kept me interested in TDM at first, because I was dog shit at DMM1. Sorry for all the cursing, but yeah, I was terrible at deathmatch 1. I just I couldn't figure out how to always have a weapon. And I'm just running around with a boomstick for 20 minutes, and I'm this is not fun at all. But when I would play 2s with Steph and them, it helped me grasp the game mode a lot faster, and I just felt I was finally understanding okay, it sounds simple, you have to show up to every quad. It sounds simple to just say that in your mind, but actually doing it during a hectic deathmatch where everyone's shooting rockets at you, and there's just so much going on that it can be really easy to just forget about quads sometimes, and but that's the game mode right there. It's the team that's controlling that quad, and if it's a pent map also, and controlling that pent, that's the dance right there.
Pent's a little easier to control because it only spawns in. It only spawns in once every 5 minutes, and matches usually only last 10 minutes or something like that. So that's a little easier to control. Quad's a bit tougher because it's once every 60 seconds, so it's gonna spawn in probably 10 times before the match is over. So that's a little more precise. Plus, that's kind of what team deathmatch is kind of just controlling that quad and stuff. So yeah, that's where that line draws there. But it's when I talk to people who main FFA or main team deathmatch, I feel because I'll talk to people who main team deathmatch, and they always tell me oh, FFA is kind of boring, and it's it just feels like you're just killing anything in sight or something, which that's the point, obviously, is to kill everything in sight, not worry about a teammate. And then when I ask that same question to people who main FFA, theirs is kind of what mine is. They don't like to get too competitive, and they don't like to play with weapon stay off, and they just prefer the more action packed of what FFA is, because you're killing everything. You're not just killing half the people on the server or whatever like that. So yeah, everybody just has their set. Mine's FFA, your guys' team deathmatch. Is there because I do a lot of pubbing in QE. Is there anybody on the Discord that still pubs on the QE anymore? I feel like everybody on there kind of.
Shout out to, I think King Stud is still around, if you remember him. Corpus Cal is definitely around. And I think it's just people come, because we're such a small community, whenever a few people take a break or whatever, it feels like a big deal, because it's man, where'd that person go, But it's summer is coming up. I'd imagine people are going to be on a little bit less, probably going to go on vacation or some shit, But I think people are still around with QE. I know definitely Corpus Cal and those guys. I don't think they'll ever go away from QE as long as there's somebody playing it,
Yeah, no, I like QE. It's my main Quake. It's just the feel is right. I know there's a lot of players that would say that would get their mixed opinions about the feel of QE, because obviously, I think the main reason is because when these Quake World players come over and they play QE and they're oh, this game feels like crap, but they forget QE QE wasn't a remaster of Quake World; it was a remaster of Windquake, which is NetQuake.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a NetQuake feel, with obviously the benefit of movement prediction and whatever else they offered. And then obviously your other stuff like Horde mode and stuff like that, but that's obviously a different story. But
I actually think the movement in QE feels good, like you said.
Yeah. Me too.
Especially if you like the limited bunny hopping of like NetQuake style. Then this should be like your jam in theory, because it's just like it feels good to me. Like that's just like my opinion and your opinion, of course. And like I would imagine someone who's played Quake World for 20 years is gonna like play this and think like, all right, this feels totally weird, because like, well, you're used to Quake World,
Yeah, definitely. And to get back into the game, I'm lost again.
Yeah, I'm forever lost.
Oh, okay. I think I found it. Okay.
But yeah, and I like Quake World, full disclosure. Like, the physics are my favorite thing about Quake World.
Yeah, I think, because I know, like, Messiah runs a lot of the FFA stuff in Quake World, which is kind of what got me into Quake World, was just doing that kind of stuff there. And
it's crazy. He's been doing that for a pretty long time now. Because I would play once in a while with those guys, like before QE came out and all that. I just got squished. It's cool that Quake World's definitely still going. I mean, they're still doing all the cool tournaments and stuff like that,
Yeah, they just did. It wasn't really a tournament. It was they did like a 2 months ago. They did a Quake. They called it Quake World with benefits, but it was like a just whoever got the most frags won a cash. It wasn't like a big tournament or anything. I think it was just some cash thing to get some players playing or something. But that was pretty cool there, and obviously that just came out of. I don't know if it was Messiah or if it was someone else that did it, but that stuff just comes out of their pocket too. So that's their commitment to Quake, is trying to find some way to bring players in, whether it be for fun or it be for competitive play. They find their ways to bring these players in and keep the game alive. And like you said, they've been doing it for years now, so yeah, definitely kudos to them for keeping the game alive, even if people would agree that QE and Quake World are different games, which I guess they kind of are, but
it's like same family, but like they're just different.
Yeah. If anyone out there is wondering, like, what are the differences between NetQuake, QE, and Quake World? Basically, the balance is the same. It's the same characters, the same weapons. But what's different is basically the netcode, which Quake World has like the best netcode in the entire planet. However the hell they did that is amazing. And the movement, which is benefited by the enhanced netcode that Quake World offers. But those are the two main things that separates Quake World from the other two. Now with QE specifically, QE is a remastered of Windquake, which is NetQuake. And if you know NetQuake, you'll know that NetQuake is, in terms of netcode, is shit. Because it doesn't have any client-side prediction. It doesn't have any whatever else makes the multiplayer run a lot better. Because it was designed at the time to be able to run like on dial-up modems and stuff like that. But
it's
obviously,
probably like the most raw Quake experience you could get. Like that's like the 1996 multiplayer right there.
Right. But I think a lot of NetQuake players, they consider that part of like the balance of the game, right? Like being able to fight or being able to play.
I think so, yeah.
With a little bit of input lag, which in terms kind of slows the game down a little bit, because obviously with that kind of netcode, you're not going to be able to hop like you could in like Quake World or even a little bit here in QE or something. But yeah, that's kind of like part of their balance system, but and then you have QE, which is basically Netquake, but it has movement prediction. So basically, that allows. I don't know the full details of it, but the movement prediction is like a way to have the clients update your movement more in real time. Again, I don't know the full details of it. I'm sure somebody who's a programmer could explain it a lot better than I could, but it basically it's predicting your movements and allows you to have your movement more in real time rather than, because in Netquake, when you have like 70 ping or something like that, then you're gonna have 70 milliseconds of input lag. Is basically how that works. So the movement prediction makes it so it's not 70 milliseconds of input lag. That's the best I can explain it. Yeah. And what was that?
I was just saying, good old Netquake. I mean, it's like, it's not my thing, you know, but I could see why those guys, like, I could still see why they prefer that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I play Netquake once in a while. Actually, geez, I almost consider myself a hybrid player now because I've played all three versions, you know. I only go on Netquake in the mornings before I go to like the weekdays, because that's kind of when people are playing. Otherwise, it's pretty dead over there. At least on Netquake IO.
Yeah.
And then like normal Netquake, you know, like through Quake Spasm or whatever Netquake ports there are out there. Most of the time, you only find matches when people schedule them, or like you said, CTF, which is probably the main over there, CTF.
CTF.
Yeah, I was gonna say CTF is it is fun. I will admit. I come from you know, Team Fortress Classic. I don't know. Have you ever played that game, Team Fortress Classic?
Not Classic. I played the very different one,
original
TF2.
Yeah. Oh, TF2. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I guess, yeah, TF2 CTF is kind of same. I think they do cases or something like that instead of flags, but
Yeah, bases.
It's ultimately the same thing, same idea of it, you know. But yeah, I come from TFC, where obviously CTF was kind of the main over there. Obviously, that game is pretty as not very popular as it used to be. Obviously, a lot of people moved on to TF2 or something, but yeah, back then there, so I've developed a lot of skill. But you know, TFC, that's obviously Valve's intake of Quake Team Fortress, which is a mod of Quake. Basically, Quake Team Fortress changes. Like you have like I don't know how much the original Quake Team Fortress has. Is it 7 or 9? Because I know TFC has 9 classes. I was told that some of them were new, but again, I'm not really sure. So Quake Team Fortress either has 7 or it has the full 9. I'm not really sure, but basically all these classes have a unique skill. And you know, like you have your scout, which is a fast unit but has low health, and then you have your heavy guy, which is, he carries a chain gun. He has a lot of health, but he's slow. You know, stuff like that. And so like these unique classes have their own play, and then like you play like CTF. There's also like capture points and stuff like that. But very cool. That's and that was something that came out. Gee, I don't remember. Was that out before Quake World, or did that come out after?
That was before.
Oh, it was before.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that existed during Netquake times then, right?
Yeah, and even 3-wave CTF, that was like also a before Quake World thing, which is pretty impressive to think about, really.
Yeah.
Because those are pretty robust, you know, mods and game modes, really.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Really cool. Yeah, definitely showing off what because Quake in general didn't have those mods. Those are just some things people modded in, right? Am I right? Or
Yep.
yeah, yeah, that's what I thought.
And then 3-wave was so impressive, like it became an official thing, you know. And like I think those guys ended up getting careers because of that mod. That's pretty nuts, you know.
Yeah, 3-wave, they brought that over to here in QE actually. 3-wave.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. A lot of people were playing when it came out.
Yeah. I know a lot of people complained about it. I think it was the hook people complained about because it was slower than the original. But other than that, it's pretty much I'm pretty sure it's pretty much the same thing as the original 3-wave. I've never played the original 3-wave, so I can't really say for certain if that's true. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty identical to the original, outside of the hook change they did, which I don't know why they changed it, but they did. Probably some console reason or something like that, maybe engine limitation or something.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Just FYI, if you want to catch up, just kill yourself.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, this part is... What the hell is up with this part? Yeah, look what we gotta do here. Look what we gotta do here.
Oh, man.
And it's not just these, by the way. You'll see when you get... Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
You know what? I'm just gonna do speedrun strategy. Hello.
There you go.
Speedrun it. Alright. Okay, we're coming up to our hour mark, Bacteria. Is there anything you wanna add or ask or say or anything?
Thanks for being a part of the community, man. Yeah, dude. Thanks for, doing this podcast. It's cool that somebody's promoting this stuff. Someone's got to do it, And shout out to all the homies out there, Dan the Man, Steph X, Undertow. You guys know who you are, Kilo Miles, all of you pretty much.
Shout out to everybody. You know who I'm talking about.
Shout out to everybody, If you're not in the QRC, you're fucking up, So after this podcast, you go to QuakeQE.com and join the Discord. Yeah,
I think you insulted every Quake role player ever, but...
No, shout out to those guys, dude. Milton,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you guys are fucking badasses. Keep playing Quake World.
Milton is, I think he's on crack.
Dude, yeah, I mean, that's somebody you can watch and just wow, that's Quake at the highest level,
Yeah, that's definitely 25 years of playing Quake, or however long he's been. He's been playing Quake for a long time, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Since he was in diapers, man.
Probably, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, yeah. Well, I will go ahead and conclude that with that. Thank you so much, Dan, for being a part there. Go ahead and watch Dan. I'm sorry, did I say Dan? I meant Bacteria.
Dan, Bacteria, same thing.
Thank you for being a part of the podcast here. If you guys want to, go ahead and check out his live stream on Twitch. What's your Twitch ID?
Twitch.tv/bacteria_. If you want to see awesome Quake content, death metal that will make you go deaf, and sometimes I talk. Yeah.
But only sometimes, right? Gotcha.
Sometimes. And if you ask me to talk, I will tell you to shut up.
Ah, okay, alright. Well, you heard it there from Bacteria, guys. Go ahead and check out his Twitch. Link will be in the description of this video as well. You can go ahead and check that out when you guys are done listening to this here, but I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast from here. So thanks everybody for watching in for episode 4. Bacteria, it's been a pleasure to have you on here. Hope to see you around on the... Well, I will see you around on the QuakeQE.com Discord. Yeah, go ahead and head to QuakeQE.com. There's an invite link for the Discord over there. You can go ahead and join all of us for games and stuff like that. They do games pretty much nightly over there for QE, but I'm going to go ahead and end the podcast here. So thanks everybody for watching in, and I will see you in episode 5. Alright everybody, peace.